So what's the difference between these three samples?
Alright, so this one here right in the middle is what most normal people's urine looks like. It's slightly yellow, clear. This one right here is very, very clear. This means a person's probably very hydrated because there's very little urea, yellow color in it. Alright, and this one right here on the end, I'm going to say this person has diabetes. Their urine is very concentrated and very dark yellow, and it also has a very sweet smell because glucose in their body isn't being reabsorbed, it's being passed through the urinary system.
Okay, that makes sense. Sorry.
Which glass is your urine supposed to look like?
Probably the one in the middle.
Good. A plus.
So how exactly does the level of hydration link to the color?
So the more water that's in your urine, it's going to be more dilute, meaning you're going to have more clear urine. So this one right here out of all three is going to be the most hydrated.
Okay, and then so where does the color come from?
The color comes from urea, which is a nitrogenous waste, which is has to be excreted by your body. So in this example, this person has a lot of urea in their body, and since they have very little water, it's not going to become very dilute. So it all becomes concentrated when it goes through the nephron loop and out of the body.
And then what about if this one looks a lot more cloudy than that one?
So cloudiness means that there's something going wrong in your urinary tract. It can be anything from like a loop not working to just your kidneys not pumping out the right stuff. So healthy urine is clear.
Okay, cool. I guess my last question is just how's the urine made?
Well, I'm going to show you a really cool video because it's a pretty complicated process.
Hi, this is a diagram of your basic nephron. There are two types of nephrons, juxtamedullary and cortical. Cortical nephrons are much shallow in the medulla space, whereas juxtamedullary go much deeper into the medulla area. Then, the green throughout the diagram will represent the Na sodium solutes, and the blue will represent the water, and the red will represent the blood. Today I will be talking about how urine is made. This process begins with an afferent arteriole bringing blood into the glomerulus. In the glomerulus, filtration occurs, where filtrate will pass through and eventually go to the nephron loop, and whatever is not filtrated will exit via the efferent arteriole. The efferent arteriole is significantly smaller than the afferent to create a high hydroosmotic pressure in the glomerulus. Whatever is not reabsorbed will go into the descending limb. In the descending limb, the water is very permeable, but not permeable in the ascending limb. The only thing that is permeable are the sodium solutes, and this is because of the energy from the ATP. As it continues, it will go into what is known as the distal convoluted tubule, and any last solutes will be reabsorbed, and then it will be going into the collecting duct. Along with the cortical nephron, we'll be doing the same process. It will go down into the collecting duct, and this is where most of the water reabsorption occurs, and then it will be eventually filtered or excreted out of the body through the ureters, out the urethra, what is known as urine.
So in the case of diabetes, typically have a high blood sugar, which is ultimately going to cause a higher concentration of glucose in the tubular fluid. And as water osmotically follows glucose in the tubular fluid, you're going to have a greater concentration of water in the fluid, which ultimately means less water is reabsorbed and more water and glucose are excreted.